Hello! Welcome to Learn to Paint with Scarlett. That's me. Today we're going to paint some pears, but we're going to do it in a slightly unusual way. Before we start, however, I want to tell you about a few things that are coming up. First of all, it is July. Yay! July is officially the watercolor month of the year, so that's pretty exciting. So if you are interested in joining in and doing a watercolor for all 31 days of July, then feel free. I will be trying my best. I may end up doing a video. I don't know, I'm thinking about it, possibly doing a video every day for July. I don't know if I have that much to say, really, but I will be doing a picture every day, and you can follow along on Instagram /Scarlett Damen, where you can find all of my stuff. I would also like to announce that I will be teaching you guys how to make a book. This is a really simple Copic sketchbook made with really good watercolor paper, and it's all done by hand, sewn up at the back. This particular book took me many hours to make. I used twine, and the twine didn't really want to cooperate. It kept breaking, and I had to keep restringing it and going back, and it was quite a disaster. But I have worked all the kinks out, and now I would like to teach you guys how to make one. Coming up also in this month, I have a lovely little quick tutorial on how I rip my paper, so stay tuned for that. We've got a whole bunch of plein air stuff coming up, which means painting outdoors in Europe in different locations, which is where I am in Europe. Today, I've been working on this pear. It's just the base coat, and I'm using pencil crayon. I don't normally use pencil crayon really at all, but I kind of like sometimes using pencil crayon, so I thought that I would try to do this pear and pencil crayon. That was today. This is not the tutorial, but this is what I'm doing, so you'll see that on Instagram as well. So I have a pear. Now this pear has been sitting on my desk for a very long time. I mean, we're probably going on like 3 weeks, and it's so long that the stem has completely dried. The whole thing is getting really like elephant skin going on here. It's a little mushy in certain places, and I think it's gonna have to be donated to the chickens soon. But in the meantime, it has been an extremely great model for me, and I've really enjoyed that. Now, what I want to do today is grab some tin foil. So today's lesson is all about shine, reflection, light, and metal. Okay, how to paint things in metal. So I'm going to paint this this watermelon. You may have seen this piece before. I posted a piece very similar on Instagram, on my Tumblr account, etc., where I turned this. Did I just say watermelon? Where I turned this pear into a glass pear, and this is how I did it. We're going to take this, and we're going to put our pear into it and wrap it up. It should be about that big. And we will need it to be about that wide. Okay, so I've cut my piece to be a little smaller. I'm going to put my pear in there, and I'm going to squish it all together. Now, in some parts, I do want these bumps. These bumps are very important. I also want the shiny side out, but you can do it either way. And voila, we have now a lovely silver pear. Now, I have gold leaf, and I could do this with gold leaf, but that seems like a real waste of real gold. You could use an emergency blanket. They are often in a gold tint on one side and silver on the other side. You could totally try that. If it was a pear that was not real, maybe doing gold leaf might be fun to get a different texture, or to get the gold color. But for now, this is what I've got. So, silver pear. Okay, what I've got is my pen with the nib. This is the dip pen. I've got ink. I've got some paper towels. Paper towels are really important because you could possibly get messy. You could end up with spots. You don't want any of that. So we're going to find a side that I like. And now we're going to paint, or in this case we're going to use pen and ink. I'm going to draw out all these little tiny shapes. Now I haven't done any drawing here. There's no, there's no pencil marks. I'm going to start at the top. And I want to make a little indication to myself of where the top would be. And I'm going to like mentally draw it in my head. So this will come here. It'll probably come around there a little bit. And I'm going to say, well, I'm matching this, but also creating it as I go. See, it kind of comes here, maybe it swerves in a bit, comes down here, over here, and perhaps something like this. Now the reason why it's useful to draw it out like that, to put your little dots on, is because this will give me a guideline. So I won't end up, if I start really small in one space, I won't end up with something that's really small or that's way too big and doesn't fit. So for the fun of it, let's just start at the top. And then I'm gonna draw. So I'm painting what I see. I see a lot of strange little triangles. Now it's not an exact thing because you wanna let the pen flow, let the ink flow. Sometimes there are dark spots in strange little shapes and sometimes they're lighter. So the lighter stuff I will leave as white. And then up here, we've got this guy. Got a few lines that actually come straight down. And I realize this is obviously way bigger. You can see that? Than it would normally be. But that's what it looks like. And then I continue just making little squiggly shapes. Some of them are triangles, some are longer, some are shorter, some are flat, really strange flat shapes, but they're all going to be very sharp because of course with the tin foil it's a very sharp the way it crunches, right? Now down here, there's a lot of dark, really dark spaces down the bottom. And just for the fun of it, maybe I'll fill in a few. And just, this is more like negative painting, so I'll leave the whites and just fill in where I see the darks. I leave lots of those, of the white of the paper. Really important. Now, I'm not really using my guides here. I'm forgetting that my lines actually come way out here. So let's just do another layer. So I like to do something like this, like a tinfoil study, as a warm-up. I think it is a fantastic warm-up to just be free and at the same time a little bit focused. So you can get your drawing under control. It's really good to loosen up and to let go and to be more loose within your work. But if you're trying to create something that is realistic, you need to spend time working on mastering your drawing skills. It's really important, and mastering the detail, because that is really what's going to make the difference between being a beautiful loose painter or being a real versatile painter who can paint both loose and detailed. And it's certainly helpful. So I think that there's a time to loosen up for sure. If you're stressed, if you just want to create some color, absolutely. But in the same time, in the same token, doing this can also be extremely stress relieving. Similar to if you were doing those adult coloring books. It's the same concept. It's very small, but you kind of get lost somewhere in it. So I'm just continuing. Now, I could do the entire thing, or I could leave a whole bunch of it open. I don't know. Let's see how far we get. This is very similar actually to painting a pineapple, or to drawing a pineapple, because pineapple has the same kind of shape inside shape. Every shape fits perfectly like a puzzle into the next. Really cool. And back here it's really light because it's reflecting the paper onto the back side of the pear. So there's a lot of open spaces that are bright. So I'm just gonna kind of frame them. Now, a lot of people say you need to know when to stop. I think paint until you feel like you're done, and if you overpaint it, do another one. Don't stop. Don't stop for the fear of stopping because you think you're going to overwork it. I don't think that's a really good idea. I personally feel like we should just let it flow. And do more. Continue. Don't look at this as your final piece. Just look at it as a study and do more and practice. It'll make such a difference to your work. So you could use the same technique if you were trying to do glass. It'd be very similar. Got a little bit of hatching going on in here too. Up here, there's a lot more dark. So I'm just going to do more lines and not so defined, because most of it's in shadow anyway. Put in a few little dinkety marks here too. you don't always have to complete things. You don't always have to finish them. I think I'll put a little more detail on the top. And I'm also gonna give it a little shadow. Voila! There we go. Okay, so I want to now put my pen into a little pot of water, which would normally be on my table. I'm not working at my desk, so it's not here. And then I would just rub it off in paper towel so that it doesn't get all stuck on. If it does, you can always use a little brush and wipe it off. These guys are very versatile. The only time you're going to really mess with them is if you push too hard and you end up splitting the two little, I gotta look up the names of these things. Anyway, the end of the nib, you don't want to split that or damage that in any way. But just normal drawing won't do that. If you don't want to let it rust or leave it in water or anything like that. Just clean it off and put it back in its little case and it'll be fine. Ta-da! I'm Scarlett, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Don't forget that there will be extras on Patreon, like always. You can totally check me out there. If you appreciate this video and you want to give me a gratitude tip, you can also do that through Patreon. I would love to see you there. Also, Instagram and Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and other such things. Tumblr, and my own blog, Scarlett Damen, artistillustrator.com. Talk to you later. Toodaloo.